Hello and welcome back to the PSA Podcast, where we deep dive into the business of technology and automation. I'm your host, Joe Redding, the Director of Sales and Business Development Manager here at Production Systems Automation, and I'm happy to be joined by my partner, Marty Wolf. So you can find more information about PSA at www.psasystems.com. So good morning, Marty. How you doing?
Good morning, Joe. This is another exciting opportunity you're going to be talking to your guest about. All about Kawasaki and an exciting trade show that's coming up. I'm excited to hear more.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, and this is the first time we're having our podcast video recorded, so we'll actually be able to share this content on YouTube. I'm looking forward to that, and hoping everybody enjoys the video content. So you're correct. So today, during this podcast, it's all going to be about the business and technology behind industrial trade shows. And we're joined by Johanna Lidgren of Kawasaki Robotics. And we're kind of going to focus a little bit on Pack Expo 2022. Pack Expo this year is going to be held at the McCormick Center in Chicago from October 23rd to the 26th. And it's going to be a great trade show. So without further ado, good morning, Johanna, and welcome back to the PSA Podcast.
Good morning. I'm very excited to be here, so thank you for inviting me back.
Absolutely. So this is your second time on the PSA podcast, but just for those listeners who are new, could you just give us a brief overview of who you are, your role at Kawasaki, and just a brief overview of Kawasaki in general?
Sure. So, like you said, my name is Johanna, and I'm the marketing manager at Kawasaki Robotics. And I've been with the company now for about 7 years. And I oversee everything from trade shows and events to digital marketing and, of course, even involved with marketing tactics that we execute with our partners, such as yourself. And for those who don't know about Kawasaki Robotics, we're part of a much larger conglomerate, Kawasaki Heavy Industries. And we've done, we were formed over 100 years ago in the 1800s, and we do everything from shipbuilding to, motorcycles to tunnel boring equipment. And so I'm part of the robotics division, which makes up about 8% of that entire company. And we supply industrial robot arms, and we have I would say a pretty robust, product line with robots for pretty much any type of application in any industry.
Sure, I agree. So speaking about, any application, any industry, the industry is kind of at a buzz right now because, we are in the industrial trade show kind of season as we come into the fall. So before we get into Pack Expo, because I know we really want to talk about that, let's talk a little bit about IMTS. I mean, that was a show that you participated in and exhibited in mid-September. Can you give us a little bit of sense about what was the buzz and what was the energy like at IMTS?
I was going to say the energy, it's really shifted in the trade show world. I'm going to say, the attendance was not at the same numbers as it was prior to COVID. However, the need for automation on every level in manufacturing is tremendous. And so the energy, the type of conversations that we were engaged in, it's a really exciting time to be in our industry as a whole. And, it's a big machine tooling trade show. So it's a big focus on those type of solutions. But even for being a robotics company, you still need robots and can use robots to help do the machine tending of those big machining solutions. So I would say overall, the show was amazing. The conversations were really great. And I think trade show as a whole look very different today, and it's exciting.
Yeah, that's great. And we'll probably talk a little bit more about that as we go through the podcast, I'm sure, about, the need for individuals to go to trade shows now. And it's still that need's there. Who's actually going to trade shows versus what may have been in the past. But, developing a trade show is very, very tough, right? There's a tremendous amount of planning that goes involved in that. What's that like for you? I mean, on a daily basis when now, especially nowadays.
You don't want to know. How much time do we have?
Because right now, there's multiple trade shows, right? Like almost back to back, and it's got to be just a tremendous effort that it takes to get those done.
Yeah. I think anyone who wants to go in and do a trade show, you have to go in with the mindset of a project manager, because it goes through various phases. But my biggest thing for anyone who's considering doing trade shows and events is start a year in advance, truly. Look at your, people inside of your company. Who can you kind of formalize with? Who are going to be part of your planning and your like creative decision making? For us, a big portion is, when we build these cells, it's a tremendous opportunity for our product and engineering team, from our customer service team, teams that don't normally work together, get to work together. Mm-hmm. It's a great opportunity when we build the cells to have more senior engineers work with our, entry-level engineers. It's a safe space to learn about our equipment, to develop a solution without having a customer, standing over your shoulder and screaming at you. So I think, starting at finding your key people, enrolling them to be part of this and using it as a way of training your own internal staff members is really, really important. And I think as an executor of a trade show, get to know your trade organization, read the trade show manual. Like so many people, they're like, it's a very costly thing. And I'm like, but do you know where you can save money? Did you read the manual? I mean, we have streamlined everything from how we ship the cell, how we build our crates. So there's many, many tips and tricks that are available, but you have to know and take the time to read and find them. And then, of course, giving yourself enough time is a really, really big deal. And we do everything in-house. So it takes a lot of coordination, a lot of moving pieces. It's not a one-person show. It can't be. And so staying on top of deadlines, timelines, and having kind of a project manager mindset is the key. And I think anyone executing a trade shows, on a personality standpoint, you have to be a driver, because you're usually getting people it's not their primary function to be involved in a trade show, so they have their responsibilities and their deadlines and timelines. So, ensuring that you're the person that kind of drives everything and checking in on people, checking in on progress it's a really, really, really big, important part of it. But I find them to be really fun. I think it's a great, opportunity for a company to get people together, working together. And,
Yeah, well, Marty's aware of this. You're aware of this. I'm not sure all of our listeners are aware of this, but PSA is also going to be exhibiting at Pack Expo. We're actually going to be in the Kawasaki booth. We're going to launch our PSA sniper cell. We're pretty excited about that. This high-speed picking and packing cell, very modular, easy to install. So we're super excited about the fact that we're going to be able to share that, with the packaging world. A lot of planning goes into it. And you talk about timing and having a project manager make sure things stay on track. Boy, it was tough this year. We talk time and time again. Even the last time you were on the podcast, we talked about supply chain and how it's affecting everybody. But it was difficult because trying to get the components necessary to build a system and on a time frame when you have a drop dead date to get that to you, it was a challenge for our team. We executed it pretty well. I'm super excited about the look and feel of the system that we're going to be exhibiting, and it was a great opportunity for our teams to collaborate. We do have 3 locations, and our location out of Lawrence, which is near Pittsburgh, was designing the cell, and our team in Aston, which is around the Philadelphia region, they executed the cell. So it was a great collaborative experience between our teams. We got some new individuals trained up on the Kawasaki product line, so it was a learning experience, as you said, in a safe environment. It's just great. We're super excited, and I cannot thank you enough that you're giving us this opportunity to exhibit in your booth and as a partner of Kawasaki. It's pretty exciting for us.
And I think it's such a key point. You get employees involved with this, and they can be excited and take ownership about something. And I also think showing kind of getting to play around with and develop kind of the latest and greatest. I think for especially on the engineering side and customer service side and all these groups that get involved, sometimes their jobs, especially on the customer service, they're usually it's because they're going to resolve something. Something is wrong and someone's upset. And so get to be kind of like the rock star of something and taking full ownership and building something that represents the company, that represents PSA and who you are. I've noticed with our teams, people get very excited, and there's a lot of pride in that.
Yeah,
so
absolutely. I agree.
And it was exciting to hear that all those teams get to collaborate on it together. So we're super excited to really reveal this amazing sniper cell that you guys have put together.
Yeah. So, I've heard recently in some media outlets that, and you mentioned it, that attendances are down at some of the trade shows that have been going on throughout this year, and as you come out through the pandemic, and trade shows are now actually opening up, and some people are saying that old school trade shows just aren't really that viable or useful anymore, and they feel like, hey, you can find what you want on maybe like a LinkedIn platform or YouTube and things like that, but it really feels like, especially with Pack Expo, and you mentioned the number of attendees that are already registered, it feels like there really is a need for companies and individuals with those companies to come out to these trade shows, see what's really available in the marketplace, look for solutions, engage in conversations, with appropriate individuals, and like ourselves at PSA and Kawasaki, we're building real life solutions that help tackle some of these challenges that are faced in these manufacturers or producers, to help them increase their efficiencies, their productivity, because just like you mentioned prior to this, the recording here, there are companies out there that just cannot find the labor requirements necessary to meet their production demands. So yeah. I'm happy that the numbers are up at Pack Expo, and I can't wait to see the crowd.
Yeah, and to me, so I can really only speak about the capital equipment / trade shows that we do, but I've definitely noted that as well. Coming out of a lot of branding and marketing agencies saying trade shows are dead, and for me, I highly disagree. Especially in the capital equipment space, for a number of reasons. Yes, the attendee rates are down, but the type of attendees that are coming to these shows have completely changed. There's no more just like breezing through. I'm just here to kind of like get out of the office and maybe have a look at what's next. The conversations have completely shifted to, hey, this is our issue, this is our need, and we need your help now. And so for us, being there is imperative. And there's also, again, we can measure our success at a trade show by leads. That's something tangible. Mm. But there's so many untangible wins that are hard to quantify. And so I think people just look at, what is the cost per lead? But what people aren't measuring in the success of a trade show is everything else. Like, I'm in marketing and branding. When I get to speak to our end users in all types of industries, what the issues they're dealing with, what are their needs, like that helps me create better content. For me, it's like coming out of IMTS was content goal. Even our, some of our technical team members, they understand like from their end user's mouth, like what are the problems they're facing with their current technology that's in place. Like there's so much learning and so much information being gathered during those few days that for different departments is a vital role. I had one example. We have, our paint manager. He kind of had to fill in, and he's part of the automotive group, so he normally does not do trade shows. And day one, he was like, I don't know if this trade show thing is for me. By day 3, he's like, I absolutely love this. He's like, and he just fired off all of the conversations that he had. And I'm like, please send me this in bullet point form. I'm like, I can use all of this. Right. But for him to just be out there, and he's like, I learned so much, and it will help him even in his like sales strategy and how to position himself, how to talk to customers, because, he's getting that live feedback from real people. Mm-hmm. And I also feel that after, COVID, I know that I was kind of really itching to get out and meeting people face to face. Sure. we can self-serve a lot of content, a lot of information, online and using all types of different medias, but, it's still, I think there's still a craving and a need for human interaction, and what better place to get that than at a trade show. And plus, it's an opportunity for attendees to meet people from every department. It's not just sales. We have marketing present. We have customer service. We have, our after sales director is there. So any question pertaining to the entire automation journey mm-hmm. that you may have, or any concerns, can mm-hmm. be answered by the people there face to face. And awesome. So it's also, for me as an attendee, it's saving you time. The information you can divulge in a conversation versus doing all the research it's a time saver. And so, for us, I don't think trade shows are going anywhere anytime soon. And I think what needs to change is how you measure and quantify a trade show success. That it's just like a high volume of leads. I think that's an old metric for us. We're actually rewriting everything on how to quantify and measure success of trade shows. And to me, like I said, whether you're in marketing, branding, or you're a technical team member, or you're in sales, all those conversations can help you in your strategies. It can help you create content. It can help you how to tackle and to relate to people and their problems. So, I'm going to say I'm a hard no to that. And I'm quite frankly a little disappointed about that whole conversation, because to me it feels like you're not with the attendees that are going. Right. You're not stepping into their shoes, and you're not stepping into the exhibitor's shoes fully.
So I agree with you for sure.
Yeah.
Marty, you've been kind of quiet. This is not like you.
Well, I'm engaged, but again, while you were talking about that, I too believe that trade shows are here to stay, and I think, again, I've been involved with big trade shows for a long time, and unfortunately in the past, some companies would send people to these trade shows as quote unquote vacations, or time off, or whatever, oh, I'm going to send 10 of you and have a good time. That's not what's happening today. What's happening today is, as you've indicated, is that there are people coming there. They have real questions. They want to have that interaction. And for the most part, they're being held accountable for what did they learn.
Yes.
Right? When they go back to headquarters and say, here's the bullet points, here's the key things, we've got to get a deeper relationship with Kawasaki, whatever they're going to say, they're being held accountable for a lot of these, for going to the trade show. It's an investment, as you know. It's a huge investment.
Yeah.
So they have to be accountable to what did they learn and what can they apply.
Well,
I actually love...
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Johanna.
No, I love that you put it in, because I think it's... how we do trade shows today, it's being accountable from every side of the spectrum. So whether you're attendee, exhibitor, because it can become, I think I've streamlined every single process at this point. And when it comes to the execution portion and how we build the cells, how we ship, I don't know if there's any more money to be saved, to be honest. And if there is, someone please tell me. But that's the whole thing. It's like, if you are accountable on how you produce and execute a trade show, how you involve and engage your own team members, how your team members are also, from our standpoint, being held accountable. It's not just how are you engaging, like what are the conversations you're having? How do you report that back? How can we as a company utilize all the data collected as an exhibitor? Not just the leads, but like all the conversations, like it can help with strategy. And I love that, Marty, you put that in. Even as an attendee, I think you're 100% correct in that. It's people are being held accountable. What did you gain from being there? They're using trade shows as a way of finding new connections, new technology, and developing strategies. And that to me is an exciting conversation.
So when is the Pack Expo? When does it start? What booth are you in? Tell me that. So, at this point in time, either one of you.
It starts on October 23rd, and we're in 5946 in the North Hall, and I can't wait to have people come check out all of our technology and the PSA sniper cell. I'm excited about this one.
Yeah. Joe, can I ask another question?
Absolutely.
So I'm going to put both of you on the spot. Why is PSA a good fit for Kawasaki? What made this happen? Why is it a good fit? I know from their perspective, they're thrilled. I guess from your perspective, why is PSA a good fit for what you're doing? I mean, you're doing something pretty extraordinary at the show at Pack Expo. So is that an okay question to ask?
Sure. Johanna, go ahead. You go first.
Well, so I think for Kawasaki and how we do business, so it's been a choice not to really build our own, and a strategy not to build our own system. And so for that, we supply the hardware, but really, we are as strong as our partners, period. And as of late, we've really put in effort to develop, really strong partnerships with our system integrators, which is PSA. Right. PSA is the system integrators. Right. I was blown away about how well they execute projects, and even how aggressive they are, all of their locations, how they take care of their community, even with helping out in schools and things like that. But truly, their capabilities are so broad. It is so refreshing. And I think they're going to become a really strong Kawasaki partner. As a whole, I'm just impressed by the whole operation and their capabilities, their internal capabilities to really handle, I think, any type of application we throw at them. It's impressive. And for us, it's really also important to showcase and feature our partners. So, at a trade show, like I said, we are as strong as our partner network, and, letting our partners really come and shine and showcase what they're good at, what they bring to the table is really important for Kawasaki.
Okay. Thank you. Appreciate that.
If I could I'll just expand on a little bit more. So with PSA, yes, we're certainly diversified, as you mentioned, Johanna, in what we can do, and we love to tackle a lot of different challenges. But as we look at Pack Expo and focus on the packaging industry, for us to take this approach and develop a standardized, modular, easy to integrate, compact solution for high-speed picking, packing, kitting, assembling, for those applications, I mean, it's a fantastic fit for PSA to take the Kawasaki equipment and best utilize it for those applications. And, you say Kawasaki's as good as their partners. Well, your partners are as good as, Kawasaki. It takes a good, solid product, especially an OEM robot manufacturer like a Kawasaki, to provide equipment that allows us to develop rock solid solutions. So Yeah, again, we talk about partnerships. It's a great partnership, both, equipment-wise, personality-wise, culture-wise. It's a really, really good fit.
Unfair to people who are listening to this on audio and not seeing it. Do you have that picture that you showed us before we, Johanna, that you showed us before we came on, of the sniper cell?
The brochure?
Do you have that?
There we go.
Yeah.
That is one cool looking device, and that's the handout at the show.
Yeah.
Is that what that's going to be?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, that's great. Fantastic.
And so we actually, and I'm going to plug Kawasaki here, so sorry. This is again self-serving. But sorry, everyone. But I do think, again, we co-developed this together. It was a collaborative effort, and Kawasaki, we had it printed. And I think it kind of shows, and it's not just in the marketing, but even our technical teams, like the level of service I think that we offer our partners are unique, compared to other OEMs. Just being able to kind of even just a simple thing as a cut sheet, but to putting all our brain power together and designing it together, both proudly putting our stamp on it. And even from a technical team's, standpoint, having from, Kawasaki representatives come out to help out with the hardware portion, things like that, all the additional, value propositions, beyond just our hardware, I think it's what also really works both ways for us. It's the people. I keep on getting back to the people. It's the people behind the product that's truly unique, and I think it's making this partnership it's going to make a really successful one.
That's great. Well, listen, Marty, Johanna, I don't have much else to add to the discussion, except the fact that Pack Expo is right around the corner. We're really excited about it. Johanna, super thankful for you to join us this morning. And is there anything else you'd like to share in closing?
I mean, come to Pack Expo if you have the time. And, we really are going to be showcasing everything from your entry-level type solutions to more complex cells. And, we really... I think my formula has always been we want to show a solution for every type of customer in every type of size of company. So I'm really excited, truly, though, to be featuring this PSA sniper cell. So come see us. Come talk to us.
Yeah.
And the booth number again is? What's the booth number?
It's 5946 in
5946, North Hall.
Yes.
Well, we're expecting thousands of people to stop by. So are you ready for that?
We're ready.
Are you ready for that onslaught?
I'm gonna drink some tea and get my vocal cords ready.
Yeah, bring it on. Awesome.
Okay.
Well, thank you so much. Really appreciate it again, Johanna. And thanks, Marty. Thanks for joining in.
Thanks, everyone.
All right.
Thank
Take
you.
care.